651 1320 WILS. The wine industry is changing. In fact, the folks reshaping it are the millennials. That's what my next guest says. Richard Chamberlain, celebrity chef and restaurateur. He owns a Chamberlain Steakhouse, a huge steakhouse down in Dallas. Richard, great to have you on WILS.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm curious. I always hear about restaurants failing. The percentage rate is just huge. How did you manage to pull it off?
Wow. I don't know, 24 years of this in our steakhouse location, and then another 17 in a seafood restaurant we have in Dallas. And, it's really just keeping up with trends and trying to stay relevant. Our restaurants are very chef-driven, and we're constantly changing to a lot of these millennial changes. Wine consumption by millennials is just out of the roof. Beer consumption is down. But when they do drink beer, they're looking for local craft beers. When they drink alcohol, they're looking for local, craft-type cocktails. And
how did they get to be so discerning with the alcohol?
Well, I have a couple of millennials myself. One's 26 and one's 21, or just turned 22. And, I think just growing up, in that generation, and certainly in me being in the restaurant business, my kids were around, high quality food and wine, and we didn't overindulge them, but they certainly learned that, buying good quality products is very pleasurable.
Yeah, well, as long as they can afford it. I mean, that's half. When you're in your 20s, it's not like you have that much money to throw around usually,
And you really don't. But what they do is, they don't mind spending extra and saving. My son, for example, he'll go without a couple of meals during the day so that he can go try out a special restaurant with his friends, and they'll split entrees or share appetizers, and they really don't. They rarely overindulge as far as drinking. They'd rather drink a couple of real high quality cocktails versus a lot of cheap alcohol.
Yeah. So do they really know the millennials? Did they seem to know their wines very well somehow? Or?
They really do. They pride themselves on knowing about wines, about different varietals, about the different nuances of wines, and certainly, enjoy that part of it.
Yeah. So when you're eating a steak, is there a wine you recommend with that?
Yeah. Big Napa Valley Cabernets, big blends from either Oregon or Washington State are really, really good with steak.
So are you supposed to drink wine with steak, or is it okay to have beer or some liquor with it?
Oh, I don't mind. Really, whatever people personally like with their steak, I recommend. Red wine is, pairs best with red beef. White wine typically pairs best with fish or poultry and things like that. There are some crossovers like salmon and tuna. You can have lighter red wines like Pinot Noir with. They pair very well.
Yeah. And what about the
really
beer? Does beer work with these things, or is that not really recommended?
I tell you what, man. When I'm on my grill in my backyard, I like a local craft beer. For a steak. I had one just the other day, as a matter of fact, and. So really, I think it's whatever the occasion sort of dictates.
Yeah, and I occasionally have a craft beer. They're usually kind of hefty. They've got a lot of flavor in them. Are people just not into that light beer? Some Budweiser, is that out the window now?
Well, that's what the trends are showing, and the big commercial beer drinkers are trying to adapt to it, but they're having a hard time figuring out what how to attract millennials to their products, and so they're just trying to figure that out. Their sales are way down.
You have to fool them into thinking it's some kind of a small craft beer, right?
I know, right? I know. You see that. You see these brands that come out that sort of indicate that they're a craft beer, but then when you look into them, they'll have a big producer's name on it somewhere.
Yeah. So you essentially have to. When you're dealing with millennials, you have to somehow convince them they're drinking something very special and high quality, not what everyone else is doing. Is that it?
Yeah, you really have to. The taste has to be there because they really they're very just they really understand the difference in the nuances of flavors. For example, in gins, the higher quality gins are infused with different flavors.
Yeah.
Vodka is their number one alcohol choice. So they're looking for, highly distilled, very smooth tasting.
Yeah, but I've always wondered with the vodka, does it make any real difference, Richard? I mean, when you're talking about 3 times distilled, 5 times distilled, I mean, it seems like it's essentially the same drink, is it not?
Well, there are, the higher quality vodkas have a much better taste. Now, if you're mixing it with cranberry juice or, orange juice or just putting a lot of stuff in it, drinking it on a Bloody Mary, I would not spend a whole lot of money on the vodka. Mm-hmm. You still want a good quality vodka, but not, just the super high end.
Well, give me your brands. What's really good vodka? Can you give me a couple?
Well, here in Texas, we like Tito's a lot. We like it's a Texas based, and then
it's big
on a national level.
Uh-huh.
On a national level, Grey Goose is probably our best high-end seller.
Yeah.
That's in our restaurants.
That's the French vodka, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
What do they make it out of? What do they make that out of? Grapes or something? Or?
Yes. There's corn and grape distilled are the 2 primary, and grain, of course. Lots of wheat.
I thought the Russians were the experts about vodka.
And the potato vodkas are great from Russia and Poland. I love a good potato vodka.
That's like, what's that?
Kettle One
Chopin or something?
Vodka.
Is that one brand?
Chopin? Oh, yeah, Chopin. That's
Chopin.
right. Kettle One's a grain.
I'm glad you told me how to say it. Now I know to say it properly, Chopin. And, but really for the millennials, it's the vodka drinks. But they usually, they mix it up. So what do they do? Vodka soda, or do they get fancier than that?
Well, what a lot of people are looking for now are these craft cocktails where you really get the nuances of the flavor of the alcohol, along with fresh herbs, for example, are really popular right now in craft cocktails. So we use fresh basil, mint a lot, occasional tarragon or thyme infused. So anything that sort of just complements the alcohol without covering up the taste.
Jeez, so such elegance. It's amazing, Richard. I remember, in college it was like a 24-pack of something really cheap, and somehow you drank it down anyway,
That's true. I remember those days myself. Yeah, we went for cheap over quantity over quality.
Yeah, that's usually the thinking. Richard Chamberlain, celebrity chef and restaurateur of ChamberlainSteakhouse.com. A man that's had decades now of success in the restaurant business. Richard, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us on WILS.
Thank you so much.